This is a short video to show some of the basic navigation features of the FastBridge Learning website. I'm currently logged in as a specialist, and I can tell that I'm logged in as a specialist from the red house here, and also in the upper right-hand corner it says what screen I'm viewing. So I'm viewing as a specialist right now. To change to see what a teacher view looks like, just click on the drop-down in the upper right-hand corner, and select the building, grade level, and teacher that you wish to view, and select Go. That will change the house to green, and it now says that the teacher that I'm viewing as. To go back to a specialist, click the drop down again and select Specialist View. When a specialist logs in, this is their welcome screen. Across the top, there's the knowledge base, support, and blog. In the knowledge base, you can find answers to many of your questions through searching. So if you wanted to know more about A rating scores, you could click on the knowledge base. And in the search part, type in A rating, and it'll bring up all of the articles and supporting documents around A rating. Along the left-hand side, you can, as a specialist, view student passwords. So if you have a student that you know is in the system but is having trouble logging in, this is where you can go to view their passwords and their login information. And you can also generate their passwords in a PDF if you need to. Click back on Home to get back to your original screen. The other tabs across the top are Training and Resources. This is where you can download any student documents. So if you're doing a CBM passage and you need the student materials in front of them, you can click on Downloads here to download all those documents. Below that are the benchmarks and norms. So if you're giving the A reading assessment and you want to know what the benchmarks are for fall, winter, and spring, you can select the grade level or leave all of them selected. Click Submit, and as you scroll down, you'll see the scores for all grade levels for the fall window, winter, and spring. You can also generate that as a PDF as well to print if needed. Also under the Training and Resources are various training modules. There's some general training that has some of the navigation features, some items around screening and progress monitoring. And then below that, you get into the actual assessment screening. Under reading, there's all of the reading assessments available. And then under math, there are the math assessments that are available. Select the assessment and it'll pull up 9 different lessons. The first 7 lessons are the ones that need to be completed before any screening or assessing happens, so that we can ensure fidelity to the assessment. Lesson number 7 is where you take the quiz. Sometimes, depending on the assessment that you're certifying in, there will also be additional certification pieces where you have to listen to a student reading and score that reading as well. Once you have passed the certification, the status will change from begin to passed. The other tabs across the top are screening. In order to screen, you have to be on a teacher view, and progress monitoring. Specialists do have access to progress monitoring as well. To get that screening tab, again, you just come over to the upper right and select a teacher, and now you can see that that screening tab is highlighted. Back to specialist. When a specialist pulls up progress monitoring, you'll see all of the progress monitoring groups for the whole building. You can narrow your search. If you're just looking for data for a certain student, you can type in their name there and it will narrow it down to which group that student is in. The next tab over are reports. Currently, this training site only has the one certification report available for a specialist right now, but you would be able to see all of the student data reports as well once assessment begins. In order for a teacher or a specialist to help with screening, we'll select a teacher. Now I know since it's green, I'm on the teacher view. And there's 2 ways to get to screening. I can either, on the left-hand side, select my class list. That'll pull up the screening and progress monitoring that's currently scheduled for that teacher and their scores if they've taken it. And then I can also select the screening tab from across the top. Once I've selected the screening tab, it will pull up all of the students that need to be screened, and then you can select the timer next to their name to begin their assessment. For the A reading, it is best practice to have students log themselves in or to use a group proctor account instead of using a teacher account, because in the teacher account it shows student scores. So once they're done with their assessment, they would be able to then view all student scores, not just their own. So it's best to have students use their student login. If you're doing an assessment that requires the teacher to be on the computer and the students have the paper in front of them to read from, such as the CBM reading, all of the assessments available are at the left-hand side. Select the class that you're ready to assess. And again, right across from the student name for the current screening window, select the timer and it will pull up that assessment. You can also go back into the reporting tab here, and here are the additional reports for student data. The group screening report would be the one that you would use first after a screening window is done to get that first overall look at how a class of students did. And then you can dig into some of the other ones with the individual skills report. We'll break it down into which skills the student has mastered or is developing and currently working on. And then this is also where you can find the various progress monitoring reports. The student at a glance report would bring up all of the data for a student, including their history for previous years and various assessments. It would also pull up progress monitoring data for a student if it was available below. To get back to your home screen, select Teacher or Specialist. And remember, to get back to your Specialist screen, you can, in the upper right-hand corner, use the drop-down and click Specialist View.